John Oliver cabin is way back up there in there. Don't know if we can see it from the road. We are at Cades Cove. We are leaving Cades Cove because it's getting ready to rain and thunder and lightning. But we were wanting to mention a disappearance of a little boy, and I believe it was in 1969. He was 6 or 7 years old, and his brother, his dad, and his grandpa would come down every Father's Day. They lived in Tennessee, I believe, somewhere in Tennessee. But they would hike, and they came down in 1969, the Martin family, and they met up with another family also named Martin. They did not know each other, and Dennis Martin was 6 or 7. Dennis, his brother, and the 2 other Martin boys decided they were going to walk ahead a little ways in Spence Field and jump out and scare their parents. Well, they all went and hid, and Dennis was hiding behind a bush, and all the boys jumped out to scare their parents, except for Dennis. Dennis disappeared. They have no evidence of him being taken by a wild animal. There's no evidence of anything other than him just disappearing. They did do searches. They even had in what they say Green Beret came in, that supposedly they were in the area or something and searched for him. He was never found. And the thing was that Dennis's dad had been watching the boys, and he watched Dennis hide in the particular bush as the boys had run ahead of them. They were still in sight of the group, and he watched Dennis go into the bush and hide, but never come out. His dad was there within minutes of him hiding there in the bush and not coming out. So that's another thing they don't know that's odd, that they cannot find. His dad ran down the trail for a good mile or so, maybe even more, and ran back. Never saw Dennis at all. Dennis's grandfather went to the ranger station and reported him missing. So there was searches done, and the Green Beret did come in and search, and there was no evidence of him ever being in the park. They don't know what happened to Dennis. There was another family that was miles away in another area of the park, and they said that they heard somebody scream, and then they saw what they thought was a bear, and then they decided that it was a man toting something on his back, and though they're not sure, that was nothing ever came of that. It was just not something that they were ever able to confirm. There was also a shoe print like Dennis's that was there miles away by a stream, and it was just one shoe print. So they don't know if that was Dennis's shoe print or if it was somebody else's, another kid, whatever it was. But beside that shoe print was a barefoot print. A human barefoot? Yeah, like a human, like he had lost a shoe. Like maybe he had lost a shoe. There was nothing ever found of him. If you want to hear more about Dennis Martin and his disappearance, you can do a search on YouTube, and there is all kinds of information on him on YouTube. We will try and put some links below for that as well, but searches really bring up a lot up on him, and it's been a really long time, so it's just odd, what happened to him, right there with his family, and disappear right there with his family.